Yeah, we can.
Okay. I'm ready when you are.
So you have the questions. Are you going to use the questionnaire you're having, or I'll still have to ask?
I think whatever you feel comfortable with, I think you should ask, because there might be leading questions as we go along. But I looked
Okay.
through them and I'm very comfortable with all of them.
All right. So we start with the first part. Introduce yourself and tell us what you're doing.
Okay, so my name is Lucky Lora Atwiine, and I'm a filmmaker. I've been making films for a couple of years now, close to 15, I guess. We stopped counting at some point. But yeah, that's what I do. I'm a filmmaker, I write, I direct, and recently I'm trying to work on being the film producer. And every once in a while I act, like really once in a full moon. It's not like one of those things I'm very excited about, but sometimes, you know, you just have to cross over to the other side of the camera for you to understand what the other people who are on that side of the camera go through. So every once in a while I do that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is my video off?
Yes.
Sorry. Where did you derive your passion for becoming a film producer?
Well, after a couple of years of working on films, considering that at the time we were making films, there's a lot of film schools now, but when we had just started out, we were all really working on the passion, that's what was driving us. So the passion where it came from, you know, when you're on projects for a very long time, you realize, for you to realize, to reach your full potential, there's a couple of things you want to try out, first of all. And then I also realized there's lack of organization of what, you know, say like running a film set should be, like from at least the experience that I've had, and I feel like I am more helpful to the film industry as a film producer than anything else, because I've worked as a director, I've worked as a writer, and most especially as the assistant director. But then there's a point you reach where you're like a full cup. That's what we usually say in film. When you're a full cup, then there's nothing much to offer, you know. There was a time in this entire country, I think I was like the only assistant director, which I found quite sad. And a few years down the road, there's a lot of people who are doing what I was doing as an assistant director. And to me, that was more or less my time to move on, because I had trained a few people had learned from me directly or indirectly. So my job was done there. And the next thing to move on to was definitely producing. So my passion really came from what I had already seen on sets, and trying to do better, really, trying to do better, trying to do more.
That's cool. So what are some of the projects you've accomplished?
As a producer, like in general?
As a producer?
I've not really accomplished much. Like I said, I'm still a film producing student. I've only produced one feature film, which was directed by a young, enthusiastic Rwandan director called Yuhi Amuli. I've produced a couple of short films. I've not really done much, I would say, as a producer, but I'm looking forward to, you know, every challenge that comes. But in the other departments, I've done quite a lot, which are It is on my company website. I have a production house called Wixaflix, and everything I've worked on is literally there. So there's still a lot to be done, I would say.
Okay. So what are some of the achievements you've attained as a film producer? You can highlight a few.
Because I've just started, I wouldn't say I have that many achievements. The film that I was a co-producer, which is The Taste of Our Land, which I've just talked about, has won a couple of awards. The first time it premiered, it was, I think it was Los Angeles African Film Festival, and it won Best Jury Award, which was a very good thing. You know, that's literally where we get our gratitude from the audience, and obviously these awards. I produced a short film called 80 Plus a couple of years ago, which has won quite a number of awards, about 10, I guess. And I'm still looking forward to working on other things and hopefully gaining more accomplishments.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So apart from the finished project of A Tale of Our Land,
A Taste of Our
are
Land.
there A Taste of Our Land, sorry. Are there other projects you're working on currently?
Yeah, still looking for funding here and there. If you go on our website, it's witsaflix.com, you will see there's a tab that says ongoing, and it has a couple of projects that are aligned for production. I'm also still looking out for scripts or add on that list, you know. So there's a couple of things that we're working on here and there.
Okay. So that's currently. What do you love? What are some of the challenges you face as a film producer?
Well, as a film producer in general,
being a female producer.
Yeah. So I would like to say, first of all, as a female producer
in particular,
I will get to the particular bit after I say this. The biggest challenge is to find where the money is, because being a producer and you're using your own money to produce films is a bit, I don't know, that's not really how it's supposed to be. So looking out for funding opportunities, or just people who have stories to tell, and finding out where the money is, that's really the biggest challenge. The other one also being that, well, there's no producer school. You kind of have to figure this out as you go along, as far as I know, in Uganda specifically. But as a female film producer, I think the biggest challenge is having to explain yourself 6 times more, because just being a woman itself, you're underlooked by just being a woman. So you have to explain yourself 10 times more for something that the guy would walk in the room and just say, so this and this and this and this and this. And everyone will say, okay. But then when it's just you and you walk in and you say, so this and this and this and this, everyone is going to be like, but maybe, but the end result will still be the same, which is very antagonizing. But yeah, at the end of it all, it is what it is. Move on and push on.
Okay. So what do you love most about producing?
Well, seeing good stories come to life. Being able to have the eye see potential in something while it is still a script. That to me is very amazing. That's what I love the most, because like when I was, I've had luck in picking the scripts that I produce, and they have all turned out to be very good productions at the end. Scripts that I have not written, that's the other thing. That's one of the other things that actually made me get excited about producing too, because I'm a writer and I'm a very good writer, but also that it feels a bit monotonous for me to write to direct, to produce, and that's way too much work. Yet there's a lot of people out there who could actually write or give something a whole different take than I could, a more exciting one. So reading someone's script and seeing potential of how great this script is going to be when it's made into a film, and then going on ahead to actually help make this film, that's very thrilling. Because it's like a child. You're literally giving birth to this child and watching it grow, because we make films. Yeah, we would have an idea of how it's going to do in theaters or in festivals, but until you put it out there and people watch it and people actually give you their feedback, whether they like it or not, you really don't know, you know? It's the same thing as having a child. You are pregnant for 9 years and you know you're going to have a healthy baby, but until you meet that baby, anything can happen, you know? So
Yeah.
when you go to that fruition from the moment it's just a script and you're reading line per line and word per word, but you see something much more, you know, that to me is what is very exhilarating.
Okay. There's a video you sent me about that, about
The
the
Taste of
person
Our Land.
you co-produced with, yeah, the one you co-produced with
Yeah,
that film. How did you guys meet?
that's a funny
How did you
story.
guys meet? Like,
It's a very, very funny story. So we met in Egypt. We met at another festival, which is something I would encourage a lot of filmmakers to indulge in. Please attend festivals, whether it is here or in any other country. You don't have to have a project there to attend a festival, because festivals are really more, while there's a lot of showcase, there's a lot of marketing and producing opportunities. There's so much. So we happened to both have submitted films to Lucky African Film Festival in, I think it was 2018 or 17, I don't remember. And we met there. He's a Rwandan participant, I'm a Ugandan participant. So within the schedules that we were given, we would obviously have time to talk, you know, with the other participants. So I got to talk to him, met a couple of friends, and then I got to talk to Yuhi Amuli. And it turns out he was once a Maisha Film Lab participant. And at that time when he was a participant, I was working as a coordinator at Maisha Film Lab. So we sort of knew each other, but we had never met physically. So we started talking. So what are you working on? I'm working on this, like you see how you're asking me. And he told me about the story. And it's the time when I was thinking, I need to stop doing set work because it's not really fulfilling me. I need to find something else to do on set without having to really be like, not basically something different from what I was doing earlier. So we got to talking, and he talked to me about his film and told me how he had been trying to produce it for some time to get it done, and how shooting it in Rwanda was a bit not easy, and he was looking into the possibilities of shooting it in Uganda. So yeah, we got to talking, we exchanged contacts. Lucky enough, when the festival was done, he was going to be in Uganda for a couple of months before he went back to Rwanda. So we used that time when he was here, when we came back, to like get into it, see what we can do, see how we can help each other, see if we can actually shoot this film. And a few months later, we actually shot the film. So I met Yuhi Amuli, the director of The Taste of Our Land, at a film festival in Egypt.
okay. So what has been your greatest sacrifice?
I would think as a person, my education, and it wasn't really a sacrifice per se, but something I regret having not pushed further. I still try to push as much as I can, but for a couple of reasons, I've not yet been able to fulfill that part of my side, well, because of finances and because of other personal issues. It's a whole film for me to go into that conversation of why. But we need a lot of support for the arts as far as the Ministry of Education is concerned. because while some of us diverged off to film, theater has had a lot of support, at least for the time we were at school. There were drama clubs, but the drama clubs were basically drama and theater and not really film. So I feel like if we pushed more education about film, about how these things are supposed to be done, instead of us faking it as we make it all the time, you know, and it becomes a full professional job where there is minimum wage, there is rules and guidelines. And when I go like on a street with a camera, it's not vandalized by police because they think I'm trying to cover something that is a bit shady, you know. So on the overall, I think my biggest sacrifice could be like my education. I really wish I'd pushed a bit more into education. But even as the finances were not there, the chance for me to study film, because I have loved to do film the moment I finished secondary school. That's what I wanted to do. But back then, there were no film schools. There was MDD, and MDD was also just a mere diploma, not really a degree. So there's a lot of restrictions in education as far as the arts are concerned. And I think that was quite big, which is why I ended up making film a big obsession, to really learn as much as I can online, through books, through the workshops that Maisha Film Lab was making for us. Those help quite a lot, because you know, you get to exchange conversations with people in Hollywood who have been doing this for years, who actually went to school to learn how to make films and are making them, you know. But learning never ends, because hey, I'm about to go back to university to catch up on some of those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are some of the habits you've practiced to ensure constant growth?
Well, this is the same thing I keep telling my students, and I tried it before, and it has worked, and it still works for me now. And it is 3 words: read as much as possible, watch as much as possible, and write everything you can think about. Because at some point, it will make some sense. It doesn't have to be like write a script. No, just anything, any idea, any thought, any, you know. So that's what I practice for the past 15 years, every day. And I got that from a Hollywood filmmaker who was brought by Maisha. What's his name? I forget his name. But he was talking to us as writers, and he was like, you have to write every day. It doesn't need to make sense. For me, I decided to make it a thing to read something every day. Watch. I have watched so much. I've watched so many things, be it a documentary, be it a music video. I get ideas of shots like I could use in my film from anything. Could be a music video, it could be a TikTok, could be just, you know, us talking here, and I'll look at something in your background. I'll be like, I think I could use that somewhere at some point, you know. I have a disclaimer on my Twitter which says anything you say in my presence will be used in my next script, because that's how it is. I observe a lot of people. A lot of the time, I'm a people watcher, unfortunately, which people don't like a lot, but you know, we emulate life. I emulate life in my scripts, in the stories I tell, in all the work I do. So the more I absorb, the better. So read, write, watch.
Thank you. So who do you look up to as a female producer?
Who can I say? See, there is different people. Sorry, I have a bit of flu. I used to admire Shonda Rhimes quite a lot. I still do. There's a couple of things Shonda Rhimes has done. You know Shonda Rhimes, right? She's the producer of Scandal and Grey's Anatomy, you know. There's a couple of things she has done as a producer, at least that I've gotten a chance to read about online, that I look at and I'm like, okay. You know, this is quite. So I love Shonda Rhimes. I've been watching a lot of Asian cinema of late. There's a couple of very good female producers in the South Korean industry that I find fascinating. Yeah, that's about it really. But the list keeps going because, well, I will get inspired by someone randomly and tomorrow it will change. But yeah, Shonda Rhimes has always been that person who I look up to. I'm like, I admire a lot of the work she does.
Sorry, share those aspiring to get into the film industry.
I beg your pardon?
The advice you have for the young girls who would love to be in the film industry.
So that's a very good question. The advice I would give is be true to who you are and make sure you know for sure that film is what you want. Don't just try it out to see if kana kwatayo, you know? Yes.
Yeah.
The earlier you start, the better, because I went into the film industry when I was still a child. My kids were babies, but now I sit with them and we talk, and they actually also help me pick up a couple of ideas and scripts when, like, I read with them. It's a family thing now. I would encourage the parents to listen to their kids more, because gone are the days where parents would push us to do things we don't want, where they force you to be a doctor, yet your passion is in the arts. Because at the end of it all, whether these kids do the mistakes, they are their mistakes, you know? So, and I'm very grateful for the parents who have actually taken up the chance on these students. I've been teaching film at Kampala Film School since 2017, and the growth I see in how the kids like get support from their parents is quite amazing. So I would say let them keep on going, because the first thing I usually ask my students is, why are you here? And how do you get to be here? So that they can give me a bit of the background, because there are kids who will tell you, I'm very passionate, but my mom won't pay the school fees here because she thinks I should be a medical doctor, or because he thinks I should be an architect, because he thinks I should be a lawyer, But a couple of parents have actually listened to their child. I know one of my students once told me he wanted to be an architect, and he actually, I think, signed up for university, but then changed his mind. And when he talked to his parents, they listened. So that was, for me, that was quite amazing, because it's very hard to have someone be as passionate. In my daughter's school, there's a girl who loves film so much, and every once in a while she writes me letters, asking me the same question you're asking. How I want to be a filmmaker? How do I start? Because I'm in S2, but I'm really excited. Where do I start from? So if you have a child who has that kind of passion, I think it's a very amazing thing for you to listen to them and actually guide them through it, because film is cutthroat. Film, unfortunately, a lot of people take it, very easy, and they think it's like a walkover. It's like an evening sport where you just come and play football for 90 minutes and then walk away. But film is a lifetime. Film is as exhausting as surgery, I would think, because you have to keep consistent. You have to keep with the trends. You have to be on your toes all the time, or you'll be forgotten. You'll start out, or you'll start talking about things that are so ancient, and everyone will be like, we stopped shooting DV like years ago. We are now shooting, is it 6K? I think right now it's 6K. It's not even 4K anymore, So you have to really keep your feet on the ground. It is a full-time job. So to the girls out there, there's a lot of opportunities, not just for you to look pretty and be an actress, or just do makeup, or just to do hair. There is film writers who are girls. There is cinematographers who are girls. There is producers who are women. There is sound recordists who are women, gaffers who are women. Anyone can do anything. whether you're a woman or man, it doesn't really matter. So no one should ever come and tell you, oh, you're a girl, you can only act, or you're a girl, you can only write, you know? No one should ever come and tell you that. If you decide to climb Mount Everest, regardless of if you're a man or woman, you will do what you want.
Okay, actually, you highlighted on the next question about the opportunities for women out there. So how can those girls harness those opportunities?
Well, they have to, well, right now, the World Wide Web has helped a lot of things. There is literally information everywhere.
Yeah.
And the same thing that I said earlier, read, because information won't find you. You have to find the information. You know? The first time I actually wanted to do film, I used to write tiny little things in my home, my house, my bed. And then I turned on the TV and I watched Irene Kulabako, legendary filmmaker and producer, who was on TV being interviewed, and she said something that struck my head. And she was like, you see, the film industry, that was years ago. Because like the film industry would really be on its way. But the problem is people have been with their scripts. People don't want to let go of their scripts for us to produce them. And then I thought to myself, here I am with scripts that I've been writing under my bed. And there's a producer saying she's looking for scripts to write, to produce. And I got out of my bed, went to the National Theatre, because I knew, because she was a lot in theatre, she would pass by at some point and I would say hi. And that was before WhatsApp. That was before smartphone. She would pass by and I would say, hi, my name is Lucky. I saw your interview and I'm very curious. And that's exactly what I did. I walked to the National Theatre, hung around for day one, then day two, and then she showed up. And she's like, really? Actually, I went to her office first because I kept looking around and asking around. And they're like, she has an office somewhere I think it was Buganda Road. So I went to Buganda Road and I talked to the receptionist and she's like, well, yeah, she works here, but she's on holiday. I can, however, give you her email address. Then you can start talking to her. And the kind, beautiful girl gave me her email address, yet as a nobody. And I emailed her. And she responded, and I had these rough things that I was writing. And I just sent them to her and I'm like, you see, I don't want you to produce my work. I just want you to tell me, do I have potential? If I actually put effort in this, do I have any chance? And I was shocked that she got back to me in less than 6 hours. And the answer was, yes, you have potential, but you have to do ABCD. I was like, okay, that's it. And that was over 15 years ago. And up to now, I'm still making movies. So you have to start from somewhere. Start from somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunities. A few weeks ago, there was the UCC Film Festival, and they were showing films for free in the theater, in the cinemas. So there's a lot of information. We are doing workshops left, right, and center. There's a lot of associations that are doing workshops in the country, be it in the village areas. I spent 3 months with an organization called Native Voices International in Kasese, teaching film.
Yeah.
And as luck would have it, 1 year later is when I met Yuhi Amuli, and his idea of shooting the film was in a mine. And here I am, and I ended up in Kasese, the same place where I was teaching film. And I was lucky enough to have one of the students who was in our class of 2018 work on the film. See that? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of opportunities everywhere. You just have to look, and you have to know what you're looking for, because the fact that there's a lot of opportunities can also confuse you. It's like going to a buffet and you're hungry. You'll want to eat everything. You see, eh?
Yeah.
So you have to choose and know, okay, this is what I want, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We are remaining with 2 questions to go. The second last is, what does the future hold for you, Lucky?
A lot. I would think a lot for the decisions and chances I have been making ever since I started making film, and from what I've achieved so far, the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. I will not tell you I dream to go to Hollywood. You know, there is so much we have to do here right now that Hollywood is not a dream. It's not my dream. There is so much.
Okay.
There is so much. That's why they are coming to us, because there is so much. So we have the potential. We have the possibilities. We just have to be able to tactfully arrange ourselves to be ready for these opportunities to fall in our lap.
Okay.
Also, being given
So
food
what
when you don't know what to do with it is not really a good idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
So lastly, what would you like to be remembered for as Lucky?
Um, well, I would like to be remembered for the stories that I've told, for the impact that I've created in the industry and I'm still creating, for the girls that I inspire every single day, and for the women who have inspired me. A few years ago, there's a friend of mine who was telling me, while you are on your way up, you're holding on to someone. There's someone who inspires you. So for you to feel that, to fulfill that chain properly, you need to also hold on to someone so that we can bring ourselves up together and not leave everyone behind. And I
Okay.
hope we get to see this beautiful film screened in Uganda. I'm trying to work on that. And also I hope to get a chance to be part of a film as beautiful and as original as A Taste of Our
Yeah.
Land, because I was blown away the moment I received the script, and I am still blown away by up to now.
It is really cute. I also saw it and it was really so nice. So thank you, Lucky, for giving this time to Blim. I think we shall meet next time.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to shine some light on what we are working on, and for the future possibilities of the other things we are working on. And I hope this inspires as many people as possible. But I also hope it also pushes Ugandans to go to theaters to actually watch, feel to theaters or cinemas to watch these African produced films, because they emulate
Yeah.
who we are in society. And perhaps there is something which you have not seen or you weren't aware about that you could pick a thing or two from. You know, today morning I
Okay.
watched a documentary. It's, I think it's called it's a BBC documentary. Let me see if I can get the name right. It was a BBC documentary about because the film A Taste of our land is a story about in short words about the exploitation of the Chinese exploitation of the African continent, which is basically
Yes.
second to the first, because the first was colonialism by the Western world, literally the whole Western world. Now we are dealing with the Chinese trying to literally run us, you know. So it is, yeah, BBC Africa Eye documentary, and it's titled Racism for Africa, where there is a excuse me, there is a Chinese young man in Malawi who is recording African children saying derogatory words about the African race and selling it on his channel, and he's making a lot of money out of it. But because we don't know what these words are, because he has like a blackboard with written things like black devil, black IQ is as low as possible, something like that. But because we are not aware of
Yeah.
these things, most of the people who actually saw the video were just laughing it off because it looked funny. But the question is, what is the content behind it? You know? So
Yes.
films entertain us, but films educate us, and films also show us the society we are in and how far we have gotten. And the things we let go easily, and the things we rub under the carpet, you know, very easily, because like we are not aware, you know. So I think
Yeah.
it's a very beautiful thing. Thank you for the opportunity, and I hope we get to do this more
Thank you
often.
too for. Yeah, you will help us maybe with a portrait of you for purposes of publication. You can send via email because WhatsApp can alter the quality of the image.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Carry. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're welcome. Thank you.